sale today, I've got a lovely 1997 Land Cruiser Prado, or this is badged as a Land Cruiser Colorado because it's from the UK, but around the rest of the world these are called the Toyota Prado. So this is my first Land Cruiser, first Toyota. So did as much as I can to learn as much as I can about them. I normally deal with Land Rover Defenders, so if you'll bear with me, I'll walk you around the vehicle, show you as much as I can, and we'll go for a test drive and we'll take a look underneath as well. So let's take a look around the vehicle. I'll try to show you all the blemishes and everything. We got a nice little scratch dent here and here on the bumper. Looks like they backed into something. New exhaust tailpipe, and there's a bunch of new parts on this vehicle, and I'll try to show you all of them as well. The paint is original and in pretty good condition for the most part. There's a couple blemishes like that, and there's some clear coat peeling on the hood as well. Now I'm guessing these are the most the notoriously rusty areas here. As you can see, there's a hole actually right there, but nice thing is it's, you know, you can't really see it when the door is shut, and it doesn't really affect the way the vehicle looks. Rest of the doors though are in great shape. We do have a brand new set of Mastercraft 265/70 R16s, and new shocks and springs on all four corners. This is the end link for the sway bar there. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but paint's pretty nice, pretty glossy. Doors are not rusty at all. Again, this is a 25-year-old Land Cruiser, so this is a step up, I believe, from the base model Prado. It's got leather seats, moonroof, and a bunch of other stuff I'll show you on the dashboard. The doors all shut nice and solid. Up front here, we've got new shock struts, lower ball joints, lower control arms, inner outer tie rods, all new. Lower ball joints are new as well. So this is what the chassis looks like after I've scraped it down and painted it. I put all these new parts on here, so I figured I'd paint around it. Upper control arms are original, but you know, that's what the chassis looks like after a coat of POR 15 rust proofing paint. So it's pretty decent. And then here's the chassis without paint. There's a little bit of mud on there from the road, but full box chassis, real good condition other than, you know, surface rust on the outside. Nothing structural. So here's the engine. Massive air filter on these, dual batteries. You know, everything looks nice and clean under here. Again, not too familiar with the Toyotas just yet, but hopefully I will be. I have service records. Timing belt was replaced about 20,000 miles ago, so we got another 40,000 miles left to go on the timing belt. I did repaint this front grille rattle can style, but I cleaned it up as best I could and made sure that paint's gonna stick. So it's decent. We do have various rock chips on the front bumper as well. Those are all rock chips. Let's take a look at the front underside here while we're here. I had to get a new set of bolts for the front control arms. Fortunately, I had to cut those out, so that's why that's brand new. Again, new shock struts. CV axles are original. There's the lower ball joints. Those are brand new. No skid plate, that is missing. But yeah, there's the painted area, and then here's the original. So it's not really covering up much. It's just I painted around where all the new stuff is about to go. So again, new tires. Radiator looks to be in decent shape. The hood's in nice shape as well, no rust. Again, there's, you know, minor blemishes in the paint. There's some clear coat that is peeled off as well, but most of the clear coat has come off here on the hood. so that'll need to be repainted probably. No cracks or chips in the, actually, there's a small chip right there. Kind of hard to see, but other than that, the windshield's in good shape. Power mirrors, those all work. Power door locks, power windows. And then again, there's leather door panels, a little bit of an upgrade from stock. There's a decent sized hole in that panel there. No floor mats, they didn't come with the vehicle. There's some wear on the driver's seat. And again, the seats are power seats and heated. We've got 180,000 miles, which is not very much for a Toyota, especially a diesel. So plenty of life left in this motor. We've got a locking center differential, high and low range, automatic transmission. A couple extra goodies here. There's like a button to keep it in second gear or not to go above second gear, and then there's an extra power. It gives you an extra couple ponies, I guess. I don't know. Power mirrors. We've got adjustable headlights. You can move the headlights up and down. I don't know what that is. Maybe the dome light. Oh yeah, that's the dashboard lights. Idle up. This is nice for cold weather. Turn it on and then press this button and it idles the engine up to warm it up a little quicker. We do have rear locking differential, which does work now. Sunroof, moonroof, all working. And here's the middle row seats. Pretty decent shape. And in the back here, we do have a subwoofer and an amplifier that came with the vehicle, and that'll stay with it. And we have these jump seats in the back that fold down, so it gives you a total of 7 seats. Okay. Spare tire mounted on the back. And again, brand new shocks, springs, all 4 corners, brand new tires, tie rod end links, front and back. Lower control arms, lower bushings, or lower ball joints, and inner outer tie rods, all brand new. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it up. Okay, I'll show you that idle up button. Press that, brings the idle up to 1100 RPMs. Push it, and it goes back down. Kind of cool. So she's idling good. Fuel gauge is working. All gauges and lights are working. Stereo works. Turn off it. Sorry, Eddie Money. Gotta turn you off for now. And here's the engine. Burns like a kitten. Show you a bit of the startup process after the glow plugs. It is a warm day, so it's not really necessary for glow plugs. And as you can see, no smoke comes out of the tailpipe, and running nice and smooth. Okay, so here's another look at the front end and all the new parts. We got inner outer tie rods, lower control arms, and lower control arm ball joints, and those are known for failing, so I went ahead and replaced those. Here's the bottom of the transmission. Looks nice and dry. I don't see any leaks there. Chassis rails, a little bit flaky, but integrity wise, they are all still solid. Like I said before, they could just use a nice scrape and a coating of chassis paint. This looks like to be a stock Toyota muffler, all in great shape. Here at the rear axle, we have a junkyard supplied rear actuator, so the rear diff lock is now working. Again, shocks and springs, and you know, the chassis does have a little bit of flaking on it, but this stuff all still nice and solid. There are no holes other than, you know, the factory holes that are supposed to be there. So chassis still nice and solid. There's your brake lines. There's the rear axle, rear diff. Gas tank, new shocks and springs on the rear as well. Upper and lower control arms, I left those alone. They seem to be pretty solid. And body panels, the floorboards still have the factory sound deadening material on them. No rust there. And there's the new tailpipe for the rear muffler. So basically just surface rust on the chassis, and that is about it. Everything's looking nice and solid under here. Okay, so let's take her for a spin. We'll accelerate up to 55, 60 or so, go through the gears, show you the steering and braking and all that good stuff, and try to talk about the vehicle. So right now the air conditioning's on, it's blowing nice and cold. I did add a small amount of refrigerant to the system, and as soon as I squeezed the bottle, maybe 2 seconds or so, the compressor kicked on and started going. So I'm guessing it was just a tiny bit low on refrigerant, and just needed a tiny little top off to get going again. So working great. Radio works great. Everything seems to be working. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was filming the interior is this armrest here. Not really an armrest because it's really too low, but this is where you tend to put your hand on every time you get in the vehicle to scoot in, and it's broken. So it's cracked right here. I don't know if you can really see that, but not much to do about that. Just something else. You know, 25-year-old vehicle, things go wrong. Anyways, let's go. Automatic transmission, so I won't be showing you the clutch or the gears or anything like that, but hopefully I can portray how smoothly everything shifts. So we'll go ahead and get her up to speed. So that's 40 miles an hour already, and there's 50. Nice easy shifts, and we're doing 60, no problem. Like I said, I've done Land Rover Defender videos mostly in the past, and to get up to 60 miles an hour that quick, not even close to it. You know, and I know we're comparing apples to oranges here, but it's a 4-cylinder turbo diesel, and it's they weigh both about the same. So this is just a really smooth ride going down the road, real nice and straight. And you know, it's got most every option that a modern day vehicle has: heated seats, power seats, leather. It even has those little cleaning nozzle squirters for the headlights. But the one thing it doesn't have is cruise control. So I don't know why, but it just doesn't have cruise control, but it's got everything else. Airbags, anti-lock brakes. And speaking of brakes, we'll come to a stop here, and I'll show you that the vehicle is stopping nice and straight. No pulling to the right or left, no shaking in the steering wheel. Perfectly straight. We just had an alignment done after we got the new tires and the new suspension parts. So everything is running tip-top. All the gauges are working. Temperature gauge is holding right in the middle. And we'll throw it in reverse here. Show you that all the gears are working. There's reverse. Form a quasi-legal U-turn here. Alright, and I'm going to pull off to the side here, and we'll put it in for low, pop it in neutral. So there's four-wheel drive low, and a ton of torque there. And then also there's the four-wheel drive light. Put it in diff lock. Also the diff lock light comes on. It's not blinking, so that means it's engaged. And we are good to go for off-road right now. This thing will have a ton of traction. Center lock diff, rear lock diff, and independent front suspension. Pretty good recipe for good traction off-road. So I'll put it back in neutral, back into high range, and into drive, and it's that simple. In and out of four-wheel drive, or it's all-time four-wheel drive, but in and out of low range and diff lock in a couple seconds, no problem. All right, turn signals are working. And we'll just go through the gears and acceleration one more time, and that'll be the test drive. So we'll floor it and give it all she's got. That's 30, that's 40, that's 50, and 60. comfortable